Good morning.
Morning.
Baby Aboko.
Hey, nyame adom. Kumasi ede.
Whether I come.
Look. Me de ye manyane anajo kranjo nzompo. like bibia to mukama. Amen.
Yes. JMJ. We have a dear. Jam Master J.
Yes, sir.
I say, Uko Jam Master J, an American guy in Odiana. That's probably the one you baby.
So originally, no, one say, to be honest, Edina and Casano, and Yamiana made the mama.
Okay.
So there's a history around it. DJ Black.
Yeah, DJ Black.
Tamnana, me, I just left Case Frequency.
Right.
The label that was Nananom and Apietus, all of them. So I was on my own, and my first artist was Samini. We were recording Samini Bilio, that song. And we now my godfather Panji,
yeah,
and a DJ Black, and a Mene Samini in the studio. And Panji said, "Now cry, Dimbene de Befro as a producer." I'm saying, "Yeah, Joshua, or Selassie, or sound sorry, deal with the Bible would DJ Black said, okay, only me be. There's some mic, no man. And I saw mic, no man. No room. No shouted, Master J, baby. Sometimes crying, I mean, cry your furniture because growing up, I was purely on foreign gospel. I grew up as a Krife boy in church. So I knew a lot of church, but I didn't know that Jam Master J was a legendary hip-hop godfather.
Yeah.
Run DMC. I didn't know much about them. So me, well, it didn't hear me there. And it's sad that I know at the cow. And I think the first song was Samini Billiona. That's his song. Yes, Billiona. And Black Cockbo, yeah, cancer sem to Samini Ninyum and a cow. But that same year, I think Samini got is it one of these Mobo Awards? And then we were rebranding from Batman to Samini. So the crew were like, listen, if we are going to get international, you can't get to America and tell them that you're from Jam Master J because Obienim, the original Jam Master J, we free in there. But so let's find a way to play around with it. So we decided to abbreviate it. So we did the JMJ and a Black D Baby no Etoile. So of course my name is Joshua. Yeah. So then it just fell along. I just fell and a bear then a bear cow.
And a year with
and it's that time no cry no. I think not being too creepy that time. So those things, if I wasn't even paying attention to it. Oh, my hair is on. Okay, pay their standard there. Of course, my pay their standard there.
But pay your standard, which them. Okay, so a few days ago, Samini at the issues be about concerning African dancehall.
Yes,
Afro dancehall, and you be a fan of dancehall reggae music. Let's take it from Baby Free. We can be free. Dancehall is not Ghanaian,
of course.
Generally, a near yedia. I say yeah, we say a bit.
Yeah. Korean adoption.
Okay, let's list dancehall artists so far from the 90s.
Okay.
We have Root Eye.
Yeah.
We have Sonny Bali. Yogi Dogi. Madfish. General Marcus.
Hey, the Godfather.
Kofi Kumeso started like Kofi Kumbelson.
Even Sammy B was also doing a lot of reggae dance of freestyles. Yeah.
Okay, Big Brother Africa.
Yes.
Then now Sammy B back in the day was starting movie.
Charlie, but before you continue, so Sammy B, my blessings actually continued from him. When I was leaving where I was trained, me, Apietus, James, all those people, Case Frequency, Let me knew how I was going to stand because I had worked for a company all that time.
Yeah.
And I said, maybe said, don't worry, I'm going to set you up.
Right.
I'm not linking me to one senior god DJ, your friend Jolutu. No, I'm set his studio, mommy. Only yes, I'm be here. This is a free Big Brother buyer in Chenti. I'm for no. No, I bet you na studio nini. Obi chuma. So maybe they know because okay. The boy be how used to, like he's into engineering. Come and work there. I want not change Kase. Samini, like he brought all the top people guys to my studio.
Wow.
So Sammy be there.
Then the list we have Shatarako, Bandana, now Shatawale,
yes,
Batman, Samini,
Stone,
Stonebwoy,
Episode Jupiter. The list are many.
You're trying to move in there. Oh, you're from giving a problem.
Oh, but yeah, Buba do now.
So, Mimete dancehall king.
Okay.
Africa dancehall king. At your time, on Samini ne tiny TikTok kangaroo.
Yes. That verse, Samini clearly redefined what we were doing and what was going to happen ahead of time. Because as at that time, nobody, he said, me are the African dancer. That was the first time. I mean, we knew all the guys, but nobody had the courage to say, I am the African dancehall king. No. Even from General Marcus, Rutai, they were just doing their dancehall thing. Yeah. But nobody had the nerves and the balls to say that only a bad hip lifer, meaning the grandpapa. It's the same thing. Let me show you. Like, Talking Drums was doing, the people were doing rap before Reggie Baye. But then, now Obian to me, Akukudron can say local rap, and a Ghanaian rap, and a hip life rapper. Me, any the Godfather, because of share movement na say.
Yeah.
On a commercializing movement, you know. What I say? Certain internet says so many times, you know. Bandana bandana from Ghana, all of that. They were all in the game.
Yeah.
But then, because they all wanted, they wanted recognition from Jamaica. So nobody wanted to behave like Ghana dancer, Africa dancer, but they just wanted to be pure dancer. It was Samini boldly came out to say that, listen, this is who I am. I'm the king of the African dancehall. Period.
Also, this song was shown on MTV.
Yeah,
this video.
That was the first video that went international, shot by an international producer, Gail Green.
Yeah.
I remember that was the first time we saw MTV in Ghana. Then she forget, that was the first time MTV came to Ghana. Period.
I'm not for you. I don't know.
You can't change that.
No. But you see, look at where he's coming from. To date. I think he's the first even artist in Ghana to make a whole reggae dancehall album. Rainbow, no.
Yeah. Oh no, prior to that, I think I'm sure there has been full reggae albums. Yes, there have been. It's just that, you see, it didn't blow that big. Of course, because of his pedigree, level or drop BPR, a lot of attention goes on there. But then, fact remains fact. When it comes to coining the name, and you know something I will say, Jitum. Tamna can say high grade. We are African dancehall. I remember Wale's camp were using that to this because to them, no, in Tiasiani say, either say we are dancehall, Jamaica for you are to me, no, African dancehall. In their understanding, it means like water, down. That's why you're friend African. Do you understand? That's the interpretation they were given. But then in Tiasiana, wanna say, however you see it, Jamaicans are Africans. That's one. The rhythm is embedded in we blacks.
Yeah.
You understand? So it's just saying that the branch of what they do in Jamaica is what is in here. Okay. But we didn't want to be like, we wanted them to endorse us or make us, for lack of better words, let me just say, but within our context. We are using our rhythms. So if you notice, back then, I'll play dance or beat, but then I'll make sure, say, our percussions, African rhythms, our melodies were mixed into it. Into already beat now. Or your verse in patois, tosi, or the chorus number 3, local. No, so what happens is that the street were able to digest the content because chorus was made in a language they could easily understand. Then the verse, we take it a step further to get the masses outside. And that was what we called Africa. That was how we were Africanizing the dancehall. Yeah. And that time, today I'm surprised that some people, but you see the good news is the internet is always there. It will always refer you when you used to fight against this word African dancehall. And today you want to come and own it simply because now it has come to stay.
I don't say Stone the near Twitter I did Stone for the say Stonebwoy Afro dancehall.
Let me I say my uncle's home. I've tried to stay out of it because
voice.
Exactly. So you see, Stone started saying Afro dancehall.
Okay.
Yes, that's a pure fact because Utie kangaroo nyongwea. Samini didn't say Afro dancehall. He said African dancehall king. You understand? Then Stone being a junior grade from in our ranking, high grade. Stone then was a junior grade. So his first album I think was called, junior something. I've forgotten the album I produced. His first
Stonebwoy.
For Stonebwoy.
Okay.
Okay. So then I'm trying to give you a history how the whole thing happened.
Isn't the race
grade? It should be grade 1 or something. His first album.
Okay.
Yeah. So basically, what happened was, I remember clearly. I mean, this is not something that we have to even debate about. Clearly, I remember one of those days, Stone wanted to show, say, a crazy dancer head. And he produce beats in or Jampea. He will go all out, pure patois from beginning to end. And then it's only those of us who are dancehall headed were able to relate. And don't forget, in the Godfather, yes, Samini beba sanyum naso no aye 4 bars patois no the tree are what ending no until one say omo performer the crowd are able to relate. So we started telling Stone that I know that that time there was this beach competition. Shatawale and Stone them will go to the beach to go and do who is the mothers and all of that. And so Stone's mindset was to show that he's doper than Wale from that time on. And we used to tell him that, listen, yes, to show that you are doper than him is cool, but then you need to own a niche and own the market and own your following. And Ghana here, Patois is not a first language. And you don't want only the Jamaican speaking community to relate to you, but you want everybody to be able to relate to you. So we started pushing him to start infusing our local language. Now Stone comes from where I come from. We are Ewes. So his strength So if you remember, go back to his first song I produced, Hills and Valley. That was my first rhythm, trigger rhythm. The version, we have to make sure that after all the patois in the English, he infused Ewe into it. Then the second song, Rat Race, he did the same thing. Then he kept going. So gradually, he was also carving a niche similar to what Samini was doing. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Now, let's get this clear to our listeners. By that time, Wale had done what's
dancehall King?
They did not hear dancehall King. That's his song that reigned before he paused. Mokoho. And if you listen to Mokoho, it was purely tree mixed with. It wasn't purely a dancehall thing. You understand?
Okay.
So
to say argument near the other one African dancehall King.
Good.
And one Afro dancehall.
Okay. So clearly, if you listen to the beginning of Stone up until now, Stone has been charting a course.
Okay.
From he's been doing dancehall, reggae, Afrobeat, then Afro dancehall. Now we need to understand, or say to me, defining all these genres, and then we can know which one falls here, who does this and who does that. For me, Afro dancehall is just anything Afro is just African rhythms. End of story. So, if I'm a hip hopper and I'm in Africa, definitely what inspires me is my nature. The African nature around me inspires my content. So definitely it has a root of African and then a branch of the hip hop. After all, even hip hop originated from Africa. It's a linguistic conversation thing. That's all. So now what it is that Afro dancehall is just saying that Afro beat mixed with dancehall. End of story. Because listen to any Afrobeat jam that Stone was featured on. You see him having Afro melodies and then using Patois as the lingua to ride on the beat. End of story. You see Samini, you can even give Agbaja to Samini and he will use African melody and then mix Patois in his language onto it. And clearly, you know, that's what it is. For me, Samini clearly defined his African dancehall territory and owned it. End of story. Stonebwoy, yes, Stonebwoy started preaching Afro dancehall. And when he started, people were even laughing at him. I remember vivid, especially SM. They were like, because SM wanted to always be like, yeah, original dancehall. No? We didn't say Afro and I didn't say. You know that African thing. That was their mentality. Until Edu Baby while in social say or the Kekpani, other things na any 100% dance or the frame. I feel the whole argument around original dance, social say yes, shift it, tone it down from on because now he has 1,000,001 songs that were nothing to do with pure dancehall. And he has 1,000,001 dancehall songs that were purely authentic dancehall, which all of them have clearly done. Stone can give you a list of dancehall songs and move to reggae songs. Wale too can give you. Samini will give you a full reggae mashup album and give you all of that. So clearly, back then, it was just, we were just too, for lack of better words, now you copy too much to want to be like Jamaica for painting. I say those days, yeah, cause hip hop or be rapping with Trimo and say it wasn't as authentic as maybe Manifest rapping in hip hop. That's the same argument that came into dancehall. And to those days, if you remember, people were trying to pitch Manifest and Sarkodie and all of that, and most of them, the urban cloud people were trying to pitch their conversation, say essence Manifest is poetically in the Queen's English and all of that, so it is more than hip hop. But no, the rhythm, what he was doing is defined by the rhythm. You understand the genre? And what Sak was also doing is the same thing, but they just use different means of because I can't go to China and then say I'm going to do hip life there, and I want to communicate with them, and then I end up speaking in Tree or China. I said they might just jump to the rhythm, but in Semna me pese memo mutia from where we come from, they might not be able to understand. So it's just prudent and wise say I'll fuse a little of my language and a little of their language so that we better see we so better say. So to conclude this whole conversation for you, me I don't even see an argument. Do you know
not
why?
Competitors, right?
No. How is it that Stone being a son of Samini, he's never even ever stood anywhere to say he's competing with Samini. He's always called Samini his godfather. Yeah. You understand? And I don't think Samini is actually trying to put up an argument, say he owns Afro dancehall. No. Because me know your status fact clear from that time
to
date, the first jam that went international on TikTok's jam, he said, I am the African dancehall king. Stone has always been preaching, I am the Afro dancehall king. You understand? Wale was the one who was preaching, I am the dancehall king. Do you get it? Let's clear it. See, I am the dancehall king. Samini has always been saying, when it comes to I am the African dancer. So when you enter into the territory here, I own this there.
Now in Africa, why are you dancehall? Apart from minimum of you are dancehall.
The Zambians, I've been to a lot of Africa. There's dancehall artists in South Africa. There are Kenya, yes. Kenya, the Eastern Africans love. So if you notice, Jamaicans and reggae festivals do go to that side. West, no, we don't really, aside Ghana, no. So that's how come say when it comes to Africa, it's like we champion dancehall in Africa. Because within all those other places, you know,
Francophone,
they know say if they want to do anything reggae dancehall, they always.
Imagine say Obi dancehall no the French neto.
There are French dancehall artists. Yes. Oh, there are plenty. There are plenty French dancehall. Have you heard of Chinese hip hop artists before? Plenty French hip hop artists. Plenty French dancehall. Chinese dancehall artists. Plenty. Even the Arabs also have their versions there. You see, what we need to. I would say. Unim say obi betumi aye adowa in French. Unim
say language now.
All he needs to do is say obenya adowa rhythm. Not in the vibe na to so. So unim say we timing, structure, the melodies are he's good to go. Because let's clear this thing. Say me fa abranti amachi de day ninyumben. I don't want to make a mistake, but there's on Iron Boy. If you play that song and you mute the vocal, it's purely reggae song. Do you know that?
Yeah.
That's a pure reggae instrumental. So if Alpha Blondie, if Beanie Man, if any of those people get that instrumental and do a freestyle self on it, what would you call that? Would you call it High Life? No. But do you know that we call Amachi Dede's a High Life artist?
You
understand? Let me go to Kojontri. Take any of Kojontri's songs for me right now, and then just mute his vocals. They mute in the vocals, na beat no kwambo
reggae.
Nama your friend is saying Rutai, Shatawale, Stonebwoy, and Champion, ma Alpha Blondie, ma any Jamaican artist. It tends to what?
Reggae.
But what do we call him here? High Life artist.
Why that's more?
Do you know why? Reggae. We have missed the explanation. You know, High Life, to say, so be to your local dialect, and your friend High Life, so to tree, so to gun, and your friend High Life. But that's the mistake. It's the rhythm that is the definition of the genre, not the language. Never the language. Unless person can you say, Benihi preachy or Brofuma, and Christian. Which pastor? Any local pastor preaching with you, man? No. It's the same thing. It's just the language. Our problem here is that we have always and constantly defined our genres per the language. And that's the mistake we have always been having. The rhythm is what makes it. Because if you take Papa Jansen's song, Papa has no reggae songs that I'll remember. If you take Papa Jansen's song, you take Konimo's instrumental, and you give it to Beanie Man to ride on it, I will call it High Life or Amponsan. I won't call it dancehall or reggae or any other thing. But you know, that has always been the mistake
from the language in
the language no attributed to the genre. Meanwhile, it is the rhythm definition is what it is. Period.
You're live on Pure 95.7 HammerTime JMJ Baby, and then the Kitchen Common. You want on a producer here. Producer. Who is a producer?
Okay, so there are different types of types of producers. First of all, we would have an executive producer, like Bosuna and the picture or your executive producer, because say the pen ni paper to plans na na finance at the command or kinda it makes sense to him no I release sika for us to go and do it. So that's an executive producer. Basically, executive producer is a person and nisika and nine ede adene anatai na ede adene nyina ede eko
and the hankook tie
no. Okay, then we can have a technical producer. You see, I'm looking out for who is your producer here. This man. Good. So he's a technical producer. He has scripted today's show, the questions. He had done research on Jam Master J, the date of birth, ni din, ni say, all the secret questions now, man for person muni, what trolling now presented to you, said, let's drill this guy. Let's bring to light all those hidden stories about him. So he's a technical producer. You are the artist. You are the performing artist. So when it comes to studio, we have a producer who sometimes we have different types. We have producers who can't even produce, like play an instrument.
Okay.
Because they're able to bring instrumentalists to the studio and give them direction. I want you to play this. I want you to play this. I want you to play this. And then they paste them together. I'll give you an example. You'll be shocked. Dr. Dre, the legendary Dr. Dre, don't play keyboard. Don't play any of those instruments. Yes, he doesn't. So he has all these kit boys around him who he will tell you, play this, play that, play this for me, play this for me. And then he'll piece all of them together. But he's a crazy person when it comes to doing that. Quincy Jones has a lot of songs we give credit to him. But when you take the LP, those days, the CD, the inlays, you see horns played by this, piano played by this played by this. You remember there was this Israeli producer called, what's his name? The boy that had issues with Timbaland. Oh, this Israeli boy, he produced a lot of the...
Scott Touch, good.
Scott is a crazy keyboardist, basically. And you find him playing, he had a beef with Timba, if you remember. The whole beef, he was playing a lot of piano stuff for Timbo. And Timbo was not giving him credit. So Timbo even had a song he was dissing, you are only a piano man. You understand? So we have those kind of producers who will pace instrumentalists together. Chom say, but no I record but no I record but no I record no I piece it all together. He's also a producer. And then we have people like us who will pick from nothing, pick the keyboard and start, pick the drum and start, pick the guitar and play all of that and record them. And put them together, bring an artist in, or send the beat to an artist. Now, some producers are so crazy and dope to the extent that when the artists come, they're able to tell them, say, beat we are now, progression we are my bono. Or the same way to so. And then be far more because inspiration this was what was inspiring me. Into when say artists need no so winning same far no ma. Because music is spirit at home. Music is always a spirit. Most of the time I dream, I feel, I hear music, feeling, dreaming, all of these are spirit. They are not physical things you can touch.
Yeah.
Every artist no akasachre no a piecing yama together penyama and a home so no only home kasachoa on kasanchoa about China mountains or kasachoa within your environment. That's why we say that every artist paints what he sees, what he feels, his environment, and then his first point of contact when he wants to. So if you ask me who a producer is, a producer basically is a creative person who is able to piece sounds, melodies, progressions together to form a beat. A producer is an all-round person who is able to play at least one or two instruments, has a musical understanding of how all these things, what comes together. So, yes, per your question. That's who a producer is.
Okay. But you say Kakie, first time it's sitting in you for a long time, I'm so Ghanaian.
Yes, that's how good she was, and that's how good the team and the idea behind the brand Kakie was. It was to start as you wouldn't believe that she's a Ghanaian.
Yeah,
that's Mekaipa Demako Ba Ghana. Now there was a show, Demako, Kakie, Samini, and some people. And I Peace FM, you called radio interview to promote the show.
True.
Inti Peace FM reception on them, underground on them. They been a OK FM, yeah.
Okay.
Underground on now. The Mako. Na mene Kakiti ho answer the Mako crew no bedruye. Inti obeduya no hu Kakie. Wow, bad girl wagwan. Kakie say, "E kemi ni no The Mako was shocked.
So on to Patois.
Was like, "Are you kidding me?" Because we on the street, we think this girl is. That's how bad and good. I mean, when in Jamaica we say when you are bad, it means you are just too good. That's how good Kakie was. She's so talented that when Samini, Lingua Cat, Stonebwoy, name all the writers, they put the words together for her. She don't even sing it in their way. She brings the song to her world, own it, and delivers in a way that you can't believe it. And I'd worked with a lot of artists, but one thing about Kakie is that I can do 10 takes, like one verse or 10 takes. I always go back for the first take. and then always. So she was just blessed. I mean,
Kakie. Now, Kase, now you keep fit. But I still to you the old gym.
Yeah.
Now, you know, like family, you say, Yamifi,
yes.
You know, at what age now we decided to say, we're going to, engineering?
Oh, okay. So, I think I probably around 24, 25 there. Yes, I'm sure. Because, somewhere around 206 or so. Yeah. I come from a very staunch Christian family. My dad is a pastor. My mom is a pastor.
I'm confused.
You know the funny thing? I grew up at a certain stage in my life, Ajina Sari's mother, in fact, in Ajina Sari's house, IPS, I remember those days with the mother. My music began, my professional music began in the church. It's the church that gave me the opportunity to learn the instrument.
Because you are available.
Because, hey, I like that punchline. Because I was available. Okay, because... Yeah, I like the word available. Let me not go beyond that. So, what happened was, I found myself in a church called Word Miracle in Medina. Then it was Pastor Adam's church. He had joined on a Bishop Ajina Sarabe Bako. So I was in his branch in Medina. And then the choir there, and I like music. Me free me mama no makojena instrument furniture me show masa me need jump. Of course mommy was singing at church, daddy too the same thing. So, but my mom and my dad divorced when I was like 2 years.
That's all for me,
The divorce.
Yeah, then.
No, okay, my mommy became a pastor after divorce many years.
Oh, okay.
And my father was a pastor when she married my mom, and still is a pastor, has his church.
When did you marry?
I mean, na me di mfie no. Enti no check it out. Na me mpese me di echi.
Okay.
Na ehia me na because oko daddy ho daddy say mommy, oko mommy ho mommy said and at a point no omo bo me chaskele sa me na mse muni me ba won chen. Let me enjoy you. When I come to you I'm not muna moye mo ade me nka ho.
So when they raise you because of
okay, so I think I spent more time with my mom than my dad.
Okay.
It's normally when there's a divorce, our mothers always tend to, especially when daddy had remarried.
Okay.
And also, yes, I also spent some time with my dad, but I wasn't really with my dad. Okay. It was my stepmother's family.
Okay.
But between them, I spent more time with my mom more than my dad. And my mom then was into church. Sorry, obeja fie da. Obedu and sorry. From I remember those days when the Duncan Williams Church was at airport Queen. So before a call sprinters on, my mother, the name of Bishop Christy Do Tete. Those people were all her friends. So I grew up knowing all those people. So what happened is at church, my interest in the instrument got me closer to the instrumentalists. The first instrument I learned how to play was the drum.
Okay.
And it was because the drummer would always want me to go and pack the drums from baby instruments. No one. Ediaba.
Did they be a crowd?
Fix yes or no aba.
They be a crowd.
They be a point or no call. Me na me dismantle. Me a pack a good trucks so me a peer the akugu baby and instruments no. So I was always available. So through that choir practice no makobi. Me kontema no a chairman no a shase chairman. E be do baby or later. Na me bugum sa. Then I moved to piano. Then I moved to guitar. Okay. Then I started singing. And all of that. Then I found myself, and at the point I was like, I formed a group actually. Then when we went to record in the studio, that was the transformation. That's where the whole thing changed. Proud to that, yes. Proud to this, I was an instrumentalist at Word Miracle, Jolu. I was on full time. I mean, I was being paid at church back then. So that music life was already there. We were playing these foreign gospels and all of that. So my understanding of music was
up there,
top notch. End of story. So when we got to the studio with the group, and I saw the equipment, the big studio master with almost 36 channels, the case frequency,
those days,
the compressors, the limiters, and the lights. I was like, whoa, I want to be. Do you know what happened? Guess who was our producer for my group and the demo? It was Apietus.
Apietus produces our group.
Apietus was an engineer at Case Frequency. And a studio na ye ko say a demo no. That night na Apia na ye engineer na obey ye demo na. And then ye demo ni wie no. Ye first song. And I me Paddy Apietus. That time I'm here Achimota Brew. Those are before on the government
make the cure.
All of that. Now it's Achimota. Me to me nanti free Achimota. Only maybe a case frequency.
Then you are the backup.
Yeah, Salem down. Me nanti free Achimota. To circle. No man nanti from circle. A woman ruma kupio a Salem down. Just to go and be with Apietus and watch the studio. Sometimes I'll do the same thing back. And I didn't even feel tired because it was for the passion and the love for just to see the studio, the equipment. Do you know that I forgot about the group, the song? The song. Apietus became my friend. Those days, I was a casual worker at the brewery. So when I'm for day, when I close, then I'll find if he's also doing night, then I'll go and spend time with him in the studio while he's working. I was doing that. And I was falling in love with the whole studio production. Not knowing it's a Case Frequency, the boss, Kakie was observing me coming in. Those days, studio base at 4 Penel Accra. Either so called, I think that Accra Hashash Mbai. Either so called Mr. Kwachi, who call Zabmalet, who call TV3 Panji. And I say another studio, Fredima. And I say, yeah, there was just about few. So to get studio, it's like,
and I have to say,
you can't. Oh, and me phone was to come to me beat them out. And it was that's bad and scary, very, very. So then Kakie do ask me, young man, you've been coming every day. I say, they be a hammer bus studio boy be dinner no better now crap and then waha. Say na boy no. He was going to be the next hammer on the mic. That kind of a thing. Inti papa say okay. So ye juma or had there. Me koka sem pese me ye me demo.
Okay. So they want to call
it demo. Na me kra na me pe producer inti na me nim say or producer or no producing na nanom NFL, Chico Dauni, all those, and that was a record label. Demo. So meaning so tie me demo crap, but me demo no na gospel. And I say, okay, this is what we'll do. I'll teach you engineering, and then you do your demo. Okay. So the procedure was for me to apply to be taken. And so I did apply, and then I was taken. Do you know that I fall in love with helping artists, putting music and melodies together, and I forgot about doing my own song. I remember Daninete of blessed memory. We'll come to the studio. We'll work. Hey, okay, maybe we'll record. Oh, next week. Next week. And I was falling in love with how to press record, play something, and play it back and hear it. You know, those days there were no recorders like this. Which we are pressing record, no akasa, no back, no iti, and I and hearing yourself. So I had the opportunity to hear my performance. It was something to me. Nana, when I started working in Case Frequency, people will go home, I will sleep in the studio.
Just
and
play
listen, I'll take Boys to Men, their old albums, and reproduce them. Take like all those church music, reproduce them and do it all over again. And then my boss will come in and I say, you are not serious. This kind of songs, can I hear? They don't listen to these things, those R&B and things you are doing. Listen to those days. Regimo hip life had just begun, and I was not really paying attention to those because, of course, from the church, you were either listening to gospel music, R&B was a little okay, it's acceptable, and all of that. So that's where the whole passion for music production began from.
Let's see. Case Frequency didn't follow out.
I think after our godfather died, Kakie died. We tried to hold it, but he was a dream. So after that, I think it came to an end.
That was in the late 90s, right?
Yeah. Oh, no, Kakie died like almost, if I'm not mistaken, like 18, 16 years ago.
And I'm saying Gaboni.
Laboni.
No, Gaboni. Gaboni, that
one I remember him. So the whole thing about Case Frequency, it was a studio, an advertising agency, and then a record label. After Reggie, Case Frequency was the next to drop a hip live artist. That was Nananam, Pozo, Sydney, UT. Then is it NFL before? Ediblemo from Native Funk Lords, and Chico Dauni, Dead Body, and the rest, all of them started coming up.
Okay, because that time, Nanajwa window is circle.
Yes.
Behind the commercial
bank.
Then Kishore at Adabraka.
Kishore was at Adabraka. Yeah.
Only a be David.
When it comes to visuals, it was Kishore.
Lintax. That was Lintax in this show.
Hey, you are an old boy. Lintax is still informal. They are still working.
Okay. Yeah, this man.
Now it's been run by a woman. I know her name.
This MPP former chairman. Is it chairman?
I don't know his political affiliation though, but now the last time I saw them doing something, it was a woman who was the head of Lintax. Okay. Yeah.
Bro.
Hey, at a point in Accra, Hammer visuals was all over. Hey, at a point, me say, my friend and Apuku, I say, now me no able be taken now. She says, "Oh, yeah, TV advert." I said, "Yeah, And I say, "Ah, see, guy be come and say, hey, all the TV adverts on one channel na."
Our production.
You be big man.
So that's near back was you all.
Okay. 8.
Isopele. 99 trade fair.
Charlie.
90 international trade fair. First live show.
That is the foundation. From those names you are mentioning, they were the thing. They were
just not us to service with us.
From a great creative guy. Very.
Jonathan Soa, Metro.
Yes, all of them. Me, I knew as to when he was at TV Africa. Yes, that was why. So they used to come. All of them used to come and record their radio commercials and jingles, or at Case Frequency. I mean, those days, name it. We bring you joy. The radio everything was at Case Frequency. So at Case Frequency it was like the media hub. Everything was happening from Komla Dumo, Dorinando, Gabi Ajete, all of those guys. So that was when I saw media from. That was how early. And because I was young, I saw all of that. Yeah. And because my boss was their friend, I met them, experienced them, worked with them, and all of that. So that told me,
Linda, voice dubs in Ghana.
I mean, a lot of stuff, a lot of dubs, and Charlie, those days. And then the Indian man, Ramesh to own a chunk of our visual history. Him and Kesh, all those people. I mean,
now you share. Now talk about parents. It's you don't come on now. Single parenting. Where you're coming from, any effect on you?
Oh, yeah, to a large extent. A lot of things have had effect on my growing up, and one of them is a broken home.
Yeah.
Ultimately, single parenting. Yeah. Some of the effects have become a dent. No, more like a tattoo on my skin that I've learned to live with. Some I've been able to overcome them. Some I've just come to understand that that's how life is. So yes, of course, it has had some negative effects and some good effects also. I'll be honest with you why I'm saying so. Today, if I look at how my life is, where I am, if it didn't take that trajectory, I wouldn't have been where I am today. You understand me? That's why I believe that Nyame Sankura yenyina yemu. Yeah, I will say kunu. Enkunu. I will say kunu. It leads you to where you are supposed to. You understand? So if probably my mom and my dad were together and I was with them, I wouldn't have been where I am today. Because they've separated, I found myself living alone, street life. Everything add up, wake a crowd, all add up shape who I am. The effects, yes, like I said. The disadvantages also, it has also had some effect on me, and some of the effect probably could be my idea of family life, my idea of what love means to me, because the love you saw home is bigger than the love you are taught outside. You understand? And then also, one of the things I had to overcome is the pain and the bitterness of not having love. You have to heal so that when you start making family, you don't unconsciously find yourself repeating the cycle.
Yeah.
You understand me? That's the whole what's the right word? That's where I am now, where I'm trying to because I have been there before. And so I don't want my child or my family to experience the same thing. Yep.
Royalties, producers, engineers. Do you apply the split sheet thing?
You see, we just have to be honest to ourselves. And in solving a problem, I believe you need to be honest to yourself that I have a problem. Then the next thing is I need solution. Or you live in a delusion to think that you don't have a problem. And so you'll be doing all kinds of things. So to answer your question, first, do we know that we have a problem? And if so, are we willing to resolve it? Now, let me answer your question now so that you link what I just said to it. Time now you're producing, we didn't even know our split shit. That's the truth. It was there, but the knowledge about the business of what we were just passionate. We were just focusing on the show, but not the business. You understand? A lot of the times you saw, you say, manager where do where you say record label, all was because it was of our Patois Germany was saying say me nana ni or ha me so person monko yenyum no man. And so there was nothing like a chinebi beba, there will be royalties on it. And it's a papa no send his can on only executive producer. What is his percentage per his product executive side? Studio no all of that to be documented. Say be a chinebi no. There was nothing like that.
But the E-list, those things were there.
The E-list those days, it was the credit.
Yeah.
But not, there were no split code, your IBM codes and all of that. You're more credit. Now, before credit, but in fact, the standard way of releasing any song today is that once we finish the DSPs, they will send you the metadata. You feel all those details. Who produced this? Who did this? Who did that? Who's contributed? And you are not just writing their name. They are sending emails to them for them to confirm and send the IBM codes and all of that, so that when there is everybody on the fraud artists and say I don't know Missy can buy or no means because the BI assistant says cannot buy a call direct.
Okay.
But because there was nothing like that for us, the best they were doing was putting credits inside the inlays.
Yeah.
So after that now, we adjusted to what is supposed to be. Fa inlay now fiance and can say okay, per today no, you are supposed to get XYZ. Meanwhile, maybe ankasa time now the person probably would have negotiated for a better percentage than that. Or it could have also been said, or no, or he was paid upfront. You know, there are two ways of doing it. You can be paid outrightly and then you have nothing. Maybe the negotiation then was pay me upfront and I don't have interest in your project. All of that. All those conversations maybe was done, but today, if we are doing it, the informations are not there. So now I'm leading to answering your question. So because of all of this whole thing, is making it difficult, one, for them to be able to have a proper data to do all of that. Because, like, ideally, when you yourself, you would have, your programs manager would have been logged before you are played. And so, any idea, you become boom, you become say, GG radio station sika, and comfort quad DNA, and a matchy DNA, with DNA, we were 10 albums, and they will say, man, say, oh, meanwhile, maybe on that day, no, youngsters from Kwanyum. So ideally, no youngsters not born money. That whole money is going to them directly. And koye a cool sika. I ever say. Impeni phone ninety. Ye mom say. Ye mom say. That's not the data that is supposed to do the distribution. It's supposed to be that today you bought JMJ production. And so it's logged in per. You know the beautiful thing about online? They will tell you it was played for 60 seconds, 30 seconds, and it amounts to this. Yes. And then at the end of the month or year, they collate it. The agents, the association that I belong to, will take their commission, and then now split to everybody that was a part of that production. Everybody gets it. It doesn't go to the way we have it to a 6 month royalties about your coche. No. And yeah, they will say a check. Because we can actually, there should be a data that should tell you that in January, the most played song at Pure FM is this artist, followed by this. And they can tell you how many times it was played, how many duration it came out to. And then they can sum all up.
Because
of you see the way I explained it to you.
Yeah.
Says Sumpoa, channel from Penifona to
make a proper login.
Say proper login there. Trust me. Then also it means that there are not every station that is paying to play.
Yeah.
There are some stations don't even pay. You understand? A lot of online. And when we are talking, it's not only radio. Yeah. Pubs, nightclubs, joints, everybody. But we are in a developing world. So the way things are done there, we won't get it the same way here. But we are starting. Time there was no such stuff. Until a lot of mistakes were made. You get me? But now the new generation, kill beat. Now say, the manager send no whole data for you to feel. And then all that conversation is strike before you even start. If you don't agree, no wahala. So now the new generation is catching up and rewriting all the mistakes the old people did. So in the next 10, 20 years, probably this kind of conversations wouldn't be the issue, especially if, like me kind say, Jitum say, yeah, a problem, and to solve a problem now. Then we'll have to admit that now, you fire home call hospital because yarea hospital na somehow. I remember my drew, say fan no pani. Then we are working, we drew to rewrite all of this. But now I would say that we are on Yanyani. We are hearing said this is how it's supposed to be done. So everybody is trying to now put his things together. Yes.
But also, interestingly, now some artists are raising concerns compared to Tamano CDs now. They were making more money. But now you see we new music and music they're not making that money. When those conversations, Snoop Dogg Kabi, this guy came, Buju Banton Kabi, that's also Felix who didn't do a boom. I mean,
okay, so
online for necessity or man now say dance. Can I say?
Technology has every time. Technology has its advantages and disadvantages. You understand? Let's be honest to ourselves. And the technology that came, we didn't even develop it. That's one. We don't even own it. We don't even have it here. We are just trying to copy and catch up with it. So how it's run there wouldn't be effective as how it's run here. The traditional orthodox method was CDs, LPs, cassette. That one we had the grip over it. We had the control.
One out of
I mean, goodies. Mr. Big Ben,
Bandes,
Bandes. Ofa lumba nyoma onimia oye onim bebi obenye nisika nyina nso ye den ewo enti onim bebi a loopholes no wo bebi a so silly and a bebi onim say we enyem na drop ya first 1 week kumasi for babeje 1,000 copies tamale babeje enti otumi hu say within first week I'm clocking X amount of money. Cry answer BBI then I shall say. But now it's not like that.
Yeah.
It is more like pay-per-view. More like pay-per-view.
Pay-per-view.
When you stream, there is an amount that it comes or amount so I press player. Now 30 seconds, 60 seconds. Sikebi wo higher than eba. Now the problem is say Africa hano. A lot of things are not helping us because that is an internet business. You see, today's modern music is you can't do it without internet. How do you do stream without internet? Now, if you understand this, then the next question is how efficient and available and everybody using internet in Africa or in Ghana. The speed and the cost. All of these things are what you would have to factor. Back then, your grandfather had his LP, had his and I go for Mutebina Yakoto those days now Modebana Obia will be to blasters into Utoa Unia internet Oslote wa de awobo and a cassette no so a property forever and never. But to me no asa to asubium. It's your property. And Utoa, you are buying it outrightly.
And they are making money direct.
Today, there are a lot of things that, like I said, because it's an internet platform that the business is sitting on, how available, easy access, how cost effective, and all of that is.
Do you stream?
Well, I do because my business revolves a lot around streams.
Because I'll share Twitter now, share the artists need be followers. Sack, Shatter, Stonebwoy, or more followers. That's how purpose will be streaming.
And that's one. Yeah. That's the side of it. Boys need streaming, but how efficient? How often does the boy have internet non-stop? Because the question, say almost streaming non-stopper. Sometimes udeta only scout better data. To me managing
20 CDs don't ever come for
and see out to size 20. How many songs will be streaming a free album? So that's one. So like I said, all of these things are not advantageous to certain regions because we are a third world country that we are catching up on a lot of things. I went to Holland. And then the boys don't offer their data. The apartment that they were staying,
Wi-Fi.
It's part of the cost. Into your koda or the Sakode and Stonebwoy or Kakie or film that na streaming sana de or fan phone or tanane kamwa to him. This or could do no office or do no office class with Wi-Fi or to him, and he's not thinking about the cost.
He's enjoying the music.
Can you imagine how much songs he's streaming within a week when he has all the access to internet? Now the part that will beat you, the stream per regions to vary. They are paying some people $1 million streams for $300. And some places $1 million stream for 3,000, 4,000, 7,000, 8,000. for the same number.
That's streaming 2 million. But the Ben Abdul.
Tio, young fan say when the share Ninyum you're streaming $1 million. So $1 million it's equivalent to roughly $300. But say when the share Holland, that's probably like $3,000 I had a man. So America is like 7,000 for the same ejumana. When they say no competitor, $1 million streams or other countries no.
Difference here big.
Difference is not. We don't use the word big. It's abnormal. From $300 to 3,000, 4,000, 7,000, 8,000.
How do you get to that 1 million streams?
First of all, don't worry about the 1 million. So worry about how much you are being paid per stream. Because per our understanding, let's say, when an interview, let's mention some of those top podcasts in America and all of that. You've brought a legendary producer to your studio. Let's say a podcast guy has also gone to bring Dr. Dre or Jay-Z or anybody, and that's content or release it online. He has 1 million stream because hey, Hammer is interviewing Timbaland. Let me go and listen what happened. I'm a fan of Timbaland growing up. And then they had 1 million people who clicked to watch. The stream is giving that podcast guy 8,000. Hammer so Anya 1 million. I want to stream so. Hammer stream they say $300. So that's where we should start from. And yet don't worry about numbers. For the meantime. But worry about Sikana say Chelsea striker score a goal. Yedemano as bonus. Now they are
Ghana.
Bofakwa Tano striker Yedemano. That's what you should worry about, not the number of people.
So they're not being fair to the system.
Because you don't own the platform.
Anyway.
1, 2. And their reason for that is, people, let's be honest with you. You are coming from Africa, right? You're in Ghana. Do you know how the streaming platforms makes their money? When people advertise on their channels. The big brands don't see their customers in Ghana. And those who advertise per your region, their money they spend is small. So we can't give you the same amount that Drake's viewership will bring advertisement to the same viewership me or when the Shea or Sarkodie or Stone will bring. That's the whole thing. So it's not a level playing field. That's the whole thing. And their reason to, there's some legitimacy too.
Oh, yes.
And some no more cano. You have to buy airtime. I know I'm an ad communication guy. I know definitely that there are some clients that almost friend will cry, almost any scanner, but you slot their ads for them because you know the relationship. You understand? And boga bisu opeso washe tomatoes bi ase awaba. Now, if Hankook Frel, I say repeat JMJ's interview or repeat Sarkodie's interview, you will easily do that. Per the revenue they bring to the table. Now, when my hometown, Agbozume, customer also calls you, who pays, let's say, just 1,000 for a week. He doesn't even have the nerves and impudence to tell you that. Now, on no person catch yourself. Essence me to airtime or line ti Agbozume for no artist no mu free horn no. Ma omo the same amount na Oma yes Sarkodie no emfa. So until we own our own platforms, one, until internet, which is the football field where the ball is played, is owned by us that we control, and it's very cheap and accessible. It will not beat what it used to be when you go and buy a CD, a cassette. But it's beating the old system in a new world because that platform belongs to them. It works in their favor. I hope I'm clear now.
Yes, you are. JMJ, sports for never.
Yeah.
That's over that.
Omuti.
Yeah, that's it.
That was
let's put it whenever.
Me pese me da Otunfo.
Yeah.
I say
Right.
Kumasi is a beautiful place, and I would love to have a piece of land here and then have some house here. And same here, but I said no. I said, Misamba weekend. Now, mommy, same Sunday as a way there too short. And then also thank our boss there.
Yeah.
His branch in Accra is crazy.
Baby.
Hey, he's crazy. And then also thank Hammer Nti. You know, this brother and I, he didn't come out. Interview. Yeah, postpone, sir. But let me say this. There has never been an interview that the host. In fact, I want to video this and put it out there. Put on your stuff. There has never been an interview or no, let me put it well. There is no media house that will fly an artist from wherever they are, pay the cost, put him in a 5-star hotel, feed him, bring him to interview him, and fly him back. Most of the time, you even have to go, use your own car, drive to stations, create content for them, and they put on their channels. But Hammer bought tickets a week ago, and we've been talking, and then BBC ne postpone BBC onyame ho abotresa and come your bawa. And today here I am. So see, kudos to Hammer. This is a big boy, and to get to know, say, he's not a generation, he's a godfather from, you know what, kudos to Hammer T.
That's it.
And Paluta maybe feel the same. Maybe feel
And as sponsors next, join me same time next week for another exciting edition of HammerTime, your favorite entertainment show.